Hi, and welcome to the Synergy Sky Suite video tutorial series. I'm Nick Doyle, the Senior Sales Engineer for the Asia Pacific region with Synergy Sky, and we're going to walk through deploying Synergy Sky Suite into Amazon Web Services or AWS. Now, this is part of the second series of video tutorials for deploying Synergy Sky Suite into various virtual environments. For an overview of the series, please watch the tutorial introduction video if you haven't done so already. Okay, so with AWS compute requirements, the image itself for Synergy Sky Suite will consume a 10 gig disk. But outside of that, recommended production requirements for compute is a T3X large or a T2X large, which both have 4 vCPUs and 16 gig of RAM. We also need to assign a 500 gig additional SSD disk. This is for the database as we progress. Minimum POC and lab requirements. So just to try this out and play with it yourself, the suite can run on T2 medium or T3 medium, which have 2 vCPUs and 4 gig of RAM. And for a constrained database, we can do that on a 10 gig SSD as well that we'll attach. If you are looking to deploy this as a proof of concept and roll it into production, highly recommend starting with the recommended production requirements. So deployment steps. So first we're going to search and launch the Synergy Sky Suite image in AWS. We're going to create this instance and specify the compute requirements, attach secondary disk, and specify some network connectivity. Create the public or private key pair, and then power on the virtual machine and confirm with SSH. Now, as a reminder, all the information covered in these video tutorials is available on our support pages at support.synergysky.com. Here you can find documentation with more detailed installation and configuration guides, as well as additional resources and troubleshooting tools, as well as assistance. Okay, so with that, let's kick off. Right. So I've already logged into the AWS Management Console, and what we're going to do here is go to EC2, and I can drop that down and click that here. Now, an important thing, I do set my region to London. Reason for this is so that we can find the Synergy Sky Suite image. After this recording, it may be possible that it's available in other regions, but check documentation for more information. Under Images on the left-hand panel, we're going to click AMIs, and under Public Images, type Synergy Sky, and now I can see the Synergy Sky appliance there. We're going to right-click on that and launch. So, as I'm doing this as a proof of concept and a lab, I'm doing a T2 medium. If you were doing this for production, you'd use the extra large with 4 vCPUs and 16 gig of RAM. Additional configuration things, I don't need to do too much here, but for yourselves within an organization, this is where you configure your network, your connection, so that you can work within your corporate organization as well. We'll add some storage. So this is for our database. I'm going to make it a 10 gig file. And I'm not going to need to add any tags to this. Security group, I'm just going to leave this as standard or very basic for SSH communication. I could add additional rules here depending on corporate policy. And I'm just going to click on launch and create a key pair. So I'm going to create a new, I'm going to call it SSky key pair 1, and I'll download that now. And now I can launch. So while we wait for that to launch, I will open up my PowerShell ready to connect via SSH. And we're going to go SSH admin at and the IP address that it gives me. So 18.134.130.157. Now we have jumped on this pretty quick. Might take a little while. Okay, and yes. Now it's going to ask us for a password here. This password we haven't set. It is the default password, which is Synergy Sky Word 01 with a few capitals in there, so do check the documentation. And now we've actually accessed the Synergy Sky Suite SSH terminal ready to configure and install. Thank you. Hope you've enjoyed.